Hey, this is Ranger Rich with Sci-Fi City, and this is the comic pull list for August 28th, 2019. Absolute Carnage number 2 from Marvel Comics, written by Donny Cates and art by Ryan Stegman. After the terrifying conclusions of Absolute Carnage number 1, a new player is on the board, and it's not who you would expect. Barely able to escape with their lives, Spider-Man and Venom have no choice but to drag a slew of other heroes into Carnage's crosshairs. Worse yet, Carnage's rampage through New York City claims an unexpected piece of collateral damage, and there's nothing Venom or anyone can do to stop it. Check this cover out. So we've got Venom and Spider-Man there, and you see Venom is in the famous pose from Spider-Man 300, but we'll talk more about that later. Anyway, so I loved issue number 1, and so enjoy this when it comes out, when you can pick it up. Absolute Carnage, Miles Morales, number 1, from Marvel Comics, written by Saladin Ahmed and art by Federico Vincentini. Target Scorpion. It's business as usual for Miles Morales as he finds himself squaring off with Mac Gargan, also known as the Scorpion. But as a cult of Carnage's bloodthirsty acolytes swarms New York, Miles will learn the hard way that Scorpion has a history with Venom and the other symbiotes of the Marvel Universe, if he can survive this issue, that is. This cover is by Clayton Crane, and it looks fantastic with the Scorpion. He's got Miles there in a headlock, and just, Carnage is just... I really love this cover. Be sure to check this out when you pick up Absolute Carnage number 2. Action Comics 1014 by DC Comics, written by Brian Michael Bendis and art by Szymon Kudranski. Lex Luthor comes home to Metropolis in this Year of the Villain tie-in. What does he have up his sleeve? Some very interesting offers for the woman behind the city's invisible mafia. Offers that no one could refuse. Plus, what is the secret of the Red Cloud? Ask Lex. He knows. Don't miss this huge chapter in both Year of the Villain and Event Leviathan. Now, this cover is by Ben Oliver, and there's several other covers that you could pick from, but this one has Lex, Apex Lex, let me add, overseeing the Red Cloud as the Red Cloud attacks Superman. So, maybe I'm behind, but I'm not sure who Red Cloud is, so that'll be interesting to find out. Amazing Spider-Man number 28 from Marvel Comics, written by Nick Spencer and art by Kev Walker. Rule of thumb: don't tick off Wilson Fisk, also known as the mayor of New York City, also known as former kingpin of crime. Sadly, Fred Myers, also known as Boomerang, was never good with rules. Spider-Man is caught in the middle of this mess, and that thing that must also come with great power won't let him just walk away. Yeah, that's called responsibility. Anyway, you see there the Kingpin smashing Spider-Man up into the wall or up into the ceiling, and after it looks like he's been beating on Boomerang. So this is a really fun comic, so I suggest you pick it up and check it out. Amazing Spider-Man Venom 3D, number 1, polybagged, from Marvel Comics, written by David Michelini and art and cover art by Todd McFarlane. Spider-Man's first encounter with his deadliest foe leaps off the pages like never before. The lethal Venom looks a lot like Spidey's black costume, only bigger, stronger, and with a killer smile. Worse still, thanks to the symbiotic suit, Eddie Brock knows all of Peter Parker's secrets. Venom has already terrorized Mary Jane, so it's just a matter of time before he comes face to face with Spidey, and Eddie knows just the right place to battle the wall crawler. Can Peter figure out a way to survive? And if he does, maybe it's time to go back to a more friendly neighborhood outfit. It's one of the greatest issues of David Michelini and Todd McFarlane's fan favorite run, with the superstar artist's stunning pages presented for the first time in eye-popping 3D, reprinting Amazing Spider-Man 300. Well, I can't wait to see what 3D they're talking about here. I mean, hopefully it's not just the red and the blue with the glasses, but I'm sure there'll be some kind of glasses, but hopefully it'll be full color with certain glasses. And then it's a special 25th anniversary issue. Okay, so this is a famous cover for Spider-Man 300 that came out in 1988, and I actually have this original 300 in my collection. Batgirl number 38 from DC Comics, written by Cecil Castellucci and art by Carmine Di Giandomenico. New series writer Cecil Castellucci continues to take Batgirl in an exciting new direction. First up, the Terrible Trio is now a quartet. After the reawakening of Oracle, the trio has decided to team up with her and show Gotham City what they're really made of. Meanwhile, Batgirl has her hands full with the real pest problem, Killer Moth. Can our hero exterminate his evil plans before it's too late? So check this cover out. That's Oracle, like some kind of robot form of, I guess, the Batgirl from the 1980s and 1990s when she couldn't walk. I can't remember exactly how we got an Oracle robot, but I can't wait to find out. Batman Superman #1 from DC Comics, written by Joshua Williamson and art by David Marquez. Up in the sky in the dark of the night, trust no one for the secret six walk among us. Spinning out of the devastating events of the Batman Who Laughs, Superman and Batman are together once more in an all-new monthly series, and they're facing a terrifying new threat that could strike from anywhere. The Dark Knight and the Man of Steel must journey into the depths of Gotham City to learn which of their fellow heroes has been transformed into the horrifying horseman of their most dangerous and deranged foe ever. Our heroes will need to fight to survive, but an even more dangerous question lurks in the shadows. Can Superman and Batman even trust each other? Okay, so there's about, 6 covers to this. You can see that this is half of one that has Batman in the forefront and Superman in the background, and of course there's another half of this that has the other half of the Batman Who Laughs face with Superman in the front and Batman in the background. But there's also several other covers too, so you'll have to go online to check those out, or just, request them or look for them at your local comic shop. But I can't wait for this story. It's been great so far. I really love the Batman Who Laughs character. He's really dark and really kind of scary, so it's really fun. It's a great book. If you're not into comics, pick this one up. Batman Curse of the White Knight #2 from DC Comics, written and cover art by Sean Murphy. The Joker's plan is in full swing with a single devastating secret, and his puppet strings controlling the elites, the Clown Prince, and his new recruit, Azrael, are ready to eliminate Batman and obliterate the Wayne family legacy. With Gotham City's identity and institutions hanging in the balance, Gordon makes a surprising public announcement, but the Joker's response will send the Bat family and the GTO spiraling. Black Panther #15 for Marvel Comics, written by Ta-Nehisi Coates and art by Daniel Acuna. The intergalactic empire of Wakanda. The Black Panther returns to Earth. T'Challa secures a legendary victory against N'Jadaka and his intergalactic empire. At last, the king can return to his throne and the loved ones he left behind. But even at home, T'Challa isn't free from the empire's long shadow. So I believe this is a great book to jump into Black Panther. If you haven't been reading Black Panther, it's a great book to jump in because, he just landed on Earth. So you can always go back and find the other 14 issues that came before this. But why don't you jump in right here? Captain America #13 for Marvel Comics, written by Ta-Nehisi Coates and art by Jason Masters and Sean Izaakse, with a cover by Alex Ross. The legend of Steve begins. On the run from the law and pursued by a dogged Nick Fury, Steve Rogers and the Daughters of Liberty begin to take the fight back to the power elite and their insidious minions. First up, it's a trip to the border with the White Tiger to uncover the secrets behind the group known only as Them. You can see it looks like he's, in disguise as he's walking through an airport or bus terminal or something like that, but trying to keep a low profile there. Detective Comics 1010 from DC Comics, written by Peter J. Tomasi and art by Christian Deuce. In part 2 of Take Your Shot, Batman confronts Deadshot only to learn he's come to Gotham City to enlist the skills of the world's greatest detective. Can the two of them work together, or will their opposite ideologies get the best of them? Now this cover is by Jay Lee and it looks fantastic. You see that Deadshot has Batman pinned down there on top of a gargoyle, it looks like. So we'll see how that turns out. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man #11 from Marvel Comics, written by Tom Taylor and art by Juan Cabal. We haven't seen Mary Jane Watson since issue #1. That's about to change with this almost all MJ issue. MJ saves Spidey, helps Aunt May, and basically saves the day. Face it, readers, you just hit the jackpot. I love Mary Jane on the cover, especially when she's wearing Spider-Man. For me, she's the only girl for Spider-Man. I don't care what anybody else says. House of X #3 from Marvel Comics, written by Jonathan Hickman and art by Pepe Larraz. Learn the truth about one of the X-Men's closest allies, and then begin the fight for the future of mutant kind. Okay, so if you're not reading the House of X and the Powers of 10 books, it's really hard to explain what's going on. So, either go get them all or just wait for the trade paperbacks. Justice League #30 from DC Comics, written by James Tynion IV and Scott Snyder, and art by Jorge Jimenez. The Justice Doom War starts here. The Lex Luthor the League has known and fought is no more, replaced by an apex predator version of Lex, powered by Perpetua, with the goal of bringing tragedy to the DC universe. Now that Lex has powered up villains across the cosmos, he marshals his own troops, sparking a war between the Legion of Doom and the Justice League that will span space, time, and the multiverse itself. This is the start of the next big Justice League event, with consequences affecting DC's Year of the Villain and beyond. I gotta admit, Justice League is my favorite book right now, along with all the Year of the Villain stuff, so I cannot wait to dive into this book and see it all kick off here. We have in the background, it looks like Batman and Brainiac are about to battle, and Wonder Woman and Cheetah, and then in the foreground you have Apex, Lex, and Superman going at it. Red Sonja and Vampirella meet Betty and Veronica from Dynamite Comics, written by Amy Chu and art by Maria Sanapo. With the investigation at a dead end, Betty and Veronica split over what to do next. Red Sonja decides to take matters into her own hands. Meanwhile, the Pussycats decide to stage a benefit concert for the victims, with disastrous results. Okay, so, if you're like me, when you were a kid, Betty and Veronica were laying around your grandparents' house, because all the grandkids, that's just what they had, Archie and Betty and Veronica. And so this is funny to me, seeing them paired up with Vampirella and Red Sonja. So I gotta admit, I haven't been reading this book, but I just love looking at the covers. I think they're hysterical. Sonic the Hedgehog number 20 from IDW Publishing, written by Ian Flynn and art by Jack Lawrence. Crisis City Part 2. When a powerful ally succumbs to the metal virus, Omega and Sonic stand alone against an infected city. And even if they can save the remaining civilians from the Zoombots, will they be safe from Sonic? The conclusion of the Crisis City storyline, but not the Metal Virus saga. Alright, so if you're a Sonic the Hedgehog fan, which I know there are a lot of you out there, you gotta be sure and pick this up. Star Trek Year 5, number 5, from IDW Publishing, written by Jody Houser and art by Sylvia Califano. During an investigation of a long-dead world, the crew of the Enterprise uncovers a mysterious device that at first appears to be a universal translator. But as Uhura investigates the strange new device, she'll quickly discover there's more than meets the eye about the Truth artifact. A continuing series about the end of the 5-year mission. The classic crew is back in all new stories featuring your favorite characters from the original series. I love this shot of the shadow of the Enterprise over what looks like, a city that's been destroyed. Hopefully the Enterprise didn't do that, but, you gotta do what you gotta do. Venom number 17 from Marvel Comics, written by Donny Cates and art by Eban Coelho. Absolute Carnage tie-in. With Carnage on the loose, Venom must protect his son Dylan at all costs. But as longtime Venomaniacs know, Venom and Carnage aren't the only symbiotes loose in New York. Wow, what a great cover. This cover's by Kyle Hotz, and it looks amazing. And creepy, and a little grotesque. Wonder Woman number 77 from DC Comics, written by G. Willow Wilson and art by Jesus Marino. The Greek god Hephaestus forged the mythological sword called the God Killer. With its eldritch energies, the sword's wielder can lay waste to armies and, most notably, slay even the mightiest of immortals. Meet its new owner, Cheetah, and that spells bad news for Wonder Woman. Wow, check this cover out. Obviously, Cheetah is possessed, and it looks like the God Killer sword is broken in front of Wonder Woman, who appears to be bleeding. Oh wow. And the shield is busted too. So, for those of you that don't know, new comic books come out every Wednesday. So for collectors like me, that's the best day of the week. But I'm sometimes too busy to go on Wednesday, and I don't want to miss out on certain books, right? So I subscribe to the Sci-Fi City comic book subscription service. Now, I know all comic shops have a subscription service like this, but I don't think they all have the discount that Sci-Fi City offers. So if you get between 10 and 19 books a month, you get a 10% discount. That's common at most stores. But at Sci-Fi City, you get 20% discount if you get 20 to 29 books each month. You get a 30% discount if you get between 30 and 39 books each month. And if you get over 40 books a month, then you get a 40% discount on all the books you buy that day. All the books come with a bag and board included. There's no contract. You can cancel anytime. There's no obligation. So, to subscribe, just stop by a Sci-Fi City location near you and fill out the Sci-Fi City Superhero Registration comic book subscription service. That's right, we want you to include your superhero name and your superpowers along with your contact information. And then on the back of the forum, you just select which books, or as I call them, instruction manuals, you would like to get each month. So, you just come in whenever you can once a month and say your superhero name, and you'll get your books. So if you like to binge TV shows, then you'll probably like to binge all these comic books. So contact Sci-Fi City today and fill out your form.